Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons. Don't mind me just applying the last of my concealer before I start this video for reasons that clearly have nothing to do with the fact that I am reviewing Serbia's song for Eurovision 2022. That was a much livelier intro than I was expecting to do, but hey, that's what happens when you leave me to improvise. But yes, Serbia. Kind of been turning heads this year for reasons that have divided people. They're dividing people in divisive ways. Do I know what I'm talking about? Stick around to find out. So, being a bit more serious then, because actually this song does merit serious discussion, this year Serbia will be represented by Miss Ana Đurić, better known by her stage name Konstrakta, and I'm not sure what the etymology behind that name is. I feel like it sounds like a Pokemon, but I mean that as a compliment, and the song is called In Corpore Sano, which is Latin. It means in a healthy body, from the fuller quote, mens sana in corpore sano, which means a healthy mind in a healthy body. And actually, the song literally opens with mens enfermos in corpore sano, but said in reverse, so sick mind in healthy body. The song is in Serbian, but there is a bit of Latin sprinkled, but I would say throughout. It's at the start in reverse, and at the end in forwards. Serbian and Latin. And actually this is the first time I think Latin has been at adult Eurovision, and the second time it's been at Eurovision ever, because we had some Latin in Ireland's debut entry at the Junior Contest in 2015, but now is not the time or place to mourn how Reltan Amara was utterly robbed. Music by Ana Đurić and Milovan Bošković, and lyrics by Ana Đurić herself. And I feel like I have to preliminarily apologise for getting so far off topic in the first, 2 minutes of this video? Right, focus in, Hexagons. Okay, I knew that this song was one of the ones in this year's lineup that had gotten people talking, and I'd heard bits and pieces about what the song is actually about, so, I knew roughly what to expect, but not exactly what to expect. I knew to expect something divisive, I knew to expect something heavy in terms of subject matter. Hearing it for myself, the rumours kind of didn't do it justice. I completely get it. I totally understand why this has split people so much. Broadly speaking, people tend to fall into either Team I don't get it, or Team Oh my stars I get it. And personally, I'm the latter. This song is unbelievably heavy and laden with not just meaning, but a scathing critique of the state of the world. Well, I think it's more a commentary on the state of healthcare within Serbia, but its meaning can be extrapolated to refer to the world at large too, if you're that way inclined. That being said, I completely understand the point of view of people who don't really understand or like this song. You can understand it without liking it, you can like it without understanding it. Yes, it's rather unusual, and I can see that throwing some people quite a bit. So, yeah, if you don't like it, don't feel bad. And if you do like it, don't be offended by people not liking it. We all have opinions, man! So, with that established, let's look at some of the reasons why you might like this song. Well, obviously, when it comes to praise, I have to start with the main attraction here, the lyrics, and how deeply they cut at the issue in question. Admittedly, I can't speak Serbian, but I can at least read the lyrics whilst listening to the song, and on that basis, this is a song with a vicious but clinical amount of bite to it. She has a point to make, and if you get it, you really get it. Ana's delivery of it gives it that extra layer of impact as well. She performs the song in a sort of stone-cold, sober sort of way, which really hits a certain type of way when she reaches lines containing rhetorical questions, or ostensibly upbeat imagery, or even the cold, unfeeling medical terminology that's in there. All of the above is performed in the same way, uniformly throughout the song, which sort of further highlights the chaos and the Stepford/Black Mirror-ishness of the entire situation. I will say, though, that her delivery of the lyrics is just one part of a much bigger whole when it comes to the presentation. even if you don't understand it, it's still extremely memorable, from the enrobed backing singers to the hand choreography in general, and the protracted hand-washing ritual in the first place. I think one of the producers this year said that you can't use water features on stage, but I think what that actually refers to is the waterfalls near the stage, and she can still wash her hands on the stage. I think that's still fine. But yeah, if you understand the song, then all of that fits perfectly and enhances the narrative. And if you don't understand the lyrics, then it just seems so far out of left field that it's going to stick in your memory, even if it's just, it's the scary hand-washing lady who's going to curse my houses if I don't clean my hands, or however you may interpret it. On a more frivolous note, as if that little daydream wasn't frivolous enough, I honestly find the song to be kind of an earworm as well. True, it was written to convey a serious message first and foremost, and I don't want to take away from that, but this is still a kind of artistic entertainment, and I am entertained. It has an infectious rhythm. Even non-speakers of Serbian may find themselves repeating the bit is drava bit for a good while after hearing it. I know I have been. But okay, yes. Still, the song is being entered into an international competition, which makes it fair game for all opinions. So here are some things that you might give as reasons if you don't like the song. Unfortunately, because of the song's level of artistry and gravity, it is the sort of thing where some people who do like it are, and in fact have been, extremely snobby about it. There are some people who just don't grasp that not everyone will enjoy what this song brings, whether that's a gap in understanding or just because the music etc. isn't to their individual taste. But either way, if someone doesn't agree with your point of view, belittling them over it isn't going to change their mind. In fact, all you're doing is driving them further away from the song, so don't do that. And let's not forget, if you do view this song from the perspective of someone who doesn't understand the context or the words or any of it, it's going to come across as weird. There's a lot of medical jargon in the words. The staging has a crowd of monks flanking a woman washing her hands. Even the song's structure is rather non-standard. If you don't know what you're watching, it will be confusing. And not every broadcaster of the contest offers subtitles or even an explanation in the voiceover, the commentary. And the onus isn't really on the listener to study up on every single song before the contest happens. For some people, this song isn't intuitive, and that's where it ends for them. That's fine, your mileage will vary. And speaking of how things end, this song's ending does seem a tad abrupt. I know it's in aid of making a point, and to that end I think it works, but the way the song starts to ramp up with the words in Latin and the swelling intensity of the music, only for it to cut out and Anna to deliver the last line and for that to be it might leave some people thinking, oh, okay, bye then. I know I, for one, wanted more of this song when it ended. As I say though, it's done for a stylistic reason, so it's not a bad thing, I think it works. I just wanted more. Like I said at the top of this review, I'm in the faction of people who totally do vibe with this song, and I recognise that to people who don't vibe with the song, me giving it a personal score of 10 out of 10 might seem like I'm overhyping it, or overreacting, or otherwise being all like, "Ah yes, it's art, I get art, look at how much I get the art." But that is not my intention. As a piece of music, as a piece of art, as a piece of theatre, and as a piece of commentary, I appreciate this song. The lyrics are deeply moving, presented in a biting, razor-sharp way. The musicality of it strikes a good balance between kind of a bop and the right amount of serious for what's being said. And while I don't relate to the message as closely as other people in other parts of the world, or even in my own country, I still empathise with it enough that the song makes me want to stop, sit down, and just think about what's being said for a little while. Now, putting my juror hat on, lyrics-wise, 2 out of 2, though not structured in the same sort of way as the lyrics of a normal pop song. They play with expectations enough that the ebb and flow of the song's stream of consciousness is able to make several well-placed jabs that further help the message to hit home. Even beyond that, the individual words are strikingly well written. Musically, I'll be controversial and say 2 out of 2. I could see some people disagreeing with me here, because it may feel a bit disjointed to some people, but it's engaging, and unless I'm mistaken, the whole song is written to be, I think, the same beat per minute rate as a healthy human heartbeat, until she delivers the line about not having health insurance. That's clever. And delivery-wise, well, I can't say anything bad about how she delivers it, 2 out of 2. Anna Konstrakta has a fierce belief in her song and her words, and it shows. There is a brutality in her performance, and I mean that as a huge compliment. That makes it all the more real, or at least it feels real, whilst also being memorable as a standalone performance thing. You don't have to understand it, you can still leave that impression. Staging potential. 2 out of 2, there is nothing I can really say about the staging at the national final either. I imagine we'll see more or less the same thing but scaled up for the stage in Turin. Granted, it might need something to help the message reach the ears of people outside of former Yugoslavia, but that may be hard to do without compromising the gravity of what's already there, so I appreciate if they just keep it as the same without adding anything. Appeal-wise though, okay, I will concede this is where the 1 out of 2 happens, because by her own admission, or so I've been told, Anna didn't write the song with competition in mind. She wasn't expecting it to win the national final, so even she is aware that this song will absolutely split opinions, and that's okay. All I can say is, again, if you get it, you'll probably like it, and if you don't, it'll probably miss you by a mile. But both views are valid. So, for me at least, it's a technical 9 out of 10, according to the criteria that I judge by, and that makes 19 out of 20 when added to my personal rating of this song. Some people will viciously disagree with that, and I fully respect their position in doing so. Now, as for Serbia in the grand scheme of things, yeah, everything looks like smooth sailing as far as I can tell. Their national final this year is not Beovizia, but it seems functionally identical, and it seemed to run to the same standard that we're used to from Serbia, so yeah, no point fixing what isn't broken. To put it another way, Serbia very rarely misses the Eurovision Grand Final, so chances are, if a song is good enough to win their selection show, it's probably good enough to go all the way. So if the format doesn't change, and the standard doesn't change, the outcome probably also won't change, right? So all is well. At least in theory. In practice, though, I actually don't know which way this will go on the Eurovision stage. As I said, Anna didn't write the song with Eurovision in mind, so it makes sense that it might not fully translate onto the international stage with all of its meaning clearly intact, but then again, she's up in the first half of semi-final 2, which means that North Macedonia and Montenegro are on hand who will be able to relate to the song more closely than some of the other competing countries, both in language and in message. So Serbia definitely won't be walking away empty-handed this year. From what I've heard, this song has gone incredibly viral in that general area, so I think odds are pretty good that I think she'll do decently well. Then again, I can't account for the countries who don't understand this song. The public will definitely remember this one, but that's no guarantee that they'll vote for it. But then again, it has a lot of positive qualities, so it might, and it went viral in the Balkan area, so... And the juries have no business throwing this one under the bus, by the way. In short, I'll tentatively guess that this will qualify. But if it doesn't, I will at least understand the chain of events that lead to that outcome, but I'm quietly optimistic here. But that's just me. What do you lovely people think? As ever, link is in the iCard and the video description for you to go and listen to the song for yourself, form your own opinions, and if you feel so inclined, share them with me. In the meantime, to Konstrakta, to Team Serbia, I wish you the very best of luck, and here's hoping that you'll beat Zdrava in Turin. Sincerely, I enjoy your song and I respect your artistry, so see how you do in May. I look forward to it.